compact tractor expert Tim Marks moments away. But first, we talked about making your own compost earlier, and feeding your soil is key in order to feed your plants. Simple Grow has a product that we all need in our gardens and our homes and our house plants.
Are you worried about your plant growth? Provide your plants with what they need to grow to their potential. Simple Grow offers 100% organic worm castings at simplegrow.com. Unlike other worm casting products, when you order from Simple Grow, you're getting 100% worm castings, not filler plus castings.
Say that again. 100%. That the whole bag's worm castings. Ain't no other junk, no filler. It's all worm castings. What you buy is what you get.
Yeah, and you can promote ideal soil structure and aeration with Simple Grow all-natural, odor-free worm castings. There's only one ingredient worm castings. No chemicals or additives will seep into your food, and it doesn't smell like other fertilizers. For indoor and outdoor use, you can buy by the bag, bundle, ton, or truckload. You can check it out at simplegrow.com. Order today and find out more at simplegrow.com.
Well, Holly, let's go to the Proclamation Hotline, brought to you by Proclamation Goods, and bring in our guest for this week.
Tim Marks is the creator with his wife and daughter of Tractor Time with Tim on YouTube. He's an expert on compact tractors. Welcome to the program, Tim.
Hey, I'm glad to be here.
Well, we are happy you're here because we've got some questions about tractors, and we've got a lot of listeners that may be looking for a tractor, and we're going to get into that in a moment. But first, let's start at the foundation. You've got a very popular YouTube channel, Tractor Time with Tim. What is your background that led you to creating this focus on compact tractors on YouTube?
We sort of stumbled into it, actually. Christy and I both grew up on farms, so we have that background. We have the knowledge of tractors from years ago. But both of us left the farm, and I became a software engineer. She became a chemist. So we moved to the city, and for many years just had a very small lot and never really thought much about tractors. Eventually, I kind of got tired of software, and I needed some stress relief, and I begged her for the opportunity to buy a little tractor. I did so, and we decided to publish some of the videos on YouTube of our exploits in our backyard, mainly for our daughter's grandparents to see. So there was no editing done. There was no intent of other people watching it. We didn't care if they watched it, but that was not the intention at all. And before you know it, we started seeing a bunch of views, and the channel just kept growing from there, and we began to be more dedicated about posting, and well, here we are.
Well, like many things in life, the greatest things are the things that we didn't prepare or plan for, we stumbled into, so it kind of worked well for you.
Yeah, it's amazing. God's really provided for us.
Now, the question I think a lot of people will have is, how do you decide if you need a tractor? And the second question is, what kind of tractor? Does the color make a difference, or how do you go with that?
Well, first of all, we think everyone needs a tractor, right? I mean, why wouldn't you need a tractor?
Right.
They're lots of fun.
Right.
No, we understand. We understand the question, and of course, everyone doesn't need a tractor. But if you have outdoor projects that begin piling up, maybe the projects are interesting to you, and you'd like to be able to accomplish them, but it's just some of them are just too difficult for you. Or maybe you're growing a little bit older, and it's getting a little harder to push the wheelbarrow or dig with the shovel than it used to be. If you enjoy doing these types of projects, and yet you feel like that some of them are just working you too hard, then you probably could get a lot of value and, again, fun out of a tractor.
Well, and the other thing is, in your recent video, you were putting riprap, for people who are not familiar with that. That's very large rocks along a pond to stop erosion. Now, you have experience on getting that tractor nice to the edge and dumping the rock. People who have just purchased a tractor, and I'm sure you've heard stories about this, they do things that they have no business doing, do not know what they're doing, and cause a lot of problems, if not injury or death, because they thought, oh, I know what I'm doing. I bought a tractor.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Safety is a big factor. And there's many ways to learn to operate a tractor safely. And I would say that one of the better ways is to watch some other people do it, perhaps us on YouTube, and maybe you can kind of learn over time what the limits of the machine are. Certainly, you will learn to feel it in the seat. The main things are to take your time, of course, and have your tractor equipped properly to be able to handle a steeper bank like we were on in that particular episode.
Okay, definitely. So, where do you start to find the best tractor for your needs? I know a lot of people might think, okay, I'm going to go to the local wherever and just go buy a tractor, but then it might become overwhelming. So, how do you start choosing a tractor?
It is overwhelming, Holly. That is a big issue. In fact, it's quite intimidating to a first-time tractor buyer to go into a tractor dealer. It's even probably tenfold the intimidation that you have if you try to go into a car dealer. You really don't even know the questions to ask. You don't know what you want at all. Actually, we recommend starting your search on YouTube and not necessarily worrying about a particular brand or a particular size yet. Start watching YouTube videos of projects like the ones you need to accomplish. Learn different tractors and attachments in action. Watch how people use them, and begin to identify the needs with that you have with what you're seeing there. Nothing it compares to seeing a tractor move in action. Photos don't even do it. The only thing better would be for that tractor to be in your yard and you experimenting with it, but unfortunately, oftentimes that's too late. So we would recommend you start with YouTube videos of tractors in actions. Now, specifically, we have a compact tractor buyer's guide. It's a playlist labeled 2022 Compact Tractor Buyer's Guide. And we go through a bunch of aspects of tractors that are not necessarily considered in most of these action type videos. So we intend to help you choose new versus used, what horsepower size, what frame size that you might want, just a variety of different topics that we tackle in this episode that I think might be helpful for you. And we also dive in a bit into which brand or brands might be relevant. I think Joey had asked beginning here just about which brand you should buy. Obviously, that's a loaded question and not easy to answer, but we do provide some guidelines in our buyer's guide.
Right. And my great-grandfather growing up on the farm, he said you can have green tractors and only green tractors, which gave you the option of Oliver or John Deere, and we have both still on the farm back home. But that's a side note for another day. And I guess another question I would have, or I would advise if somebody was buying a tractor, is if you don't think you need a front loader, you might need a front loader. I think that is a key element, at least if Holly and I were going to buy a tractor, a front loader would be key because Grandpa always said you need a shovel, a wheelbarrow, and a tractor with a front loader. And I think there's a lot of experience coming from Grandpa when he says something like that.
Well, Grandpa's pretty wise overall. There's no question, right. And that's for broader than just tractors. But I fully agree with you, especially on a subcompact tractor, the smallest tractor available with a loader. Get the loader. There's quite frankly not a lot of usefulness with that tractor, in my opinion, without a loader. And the loader is not that costly, and you will get. If you do decide to trade that tractor later, you will get all of that cost of that loader back in your resale value because that's where the value of these little tractors are. And you use a loader for many other items than just digging in dirt or hauling mulch. One of the best things that you can do is get a set of pallet forks that will also attach to your loader. And again, even if you're not planning to move pallets, it is a tremendous way to move things around, large rocks or just other difficult items to move that may be a little bit too heavy for you, and it makes life a lot easier.
Fantastic. So we are talking with Tim Marks, the creator of Tractor Time on YouTube. So what accessories should one look for when buying a compact tractor? We do encourage people to check out the Big Tool Rack, and their coupon code is MyRack5 to save 10% off bigtoolrack.com. Just what kind of accessories would you say would be good when you're buying a compact tractor?
In addition to the front loader.
Yeah, you mentioned the front loader and the pallet
tongs.
Tongs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did mention the Big Tool Rack. Big Tool Racks is a partner of our channel as well, and we have a coupon code as well. And so, if you don't have a UTV, a Big Tool Rack is essentially turns your tractor into most of a UTV. The only thing you don't have is the ability to go fast like you do on a UTV, but you get all of the function. You get a bed and a big rack on the back that allows you to store all your accessories. So yeah, that's a very nice attachment. Now, for your viewers, a lot of them, you're into gardening, and so from the gardening standpoint, I would start with a rototiller. Rototiller is an amazing attachment, and it even has usefulness outside of actual garden preparation. On our channel, we show rototillers being used in a lot of landscaping type work or grading type work that we do. It's just a tremendous tool overall, and incredible seedbed preparation. Following that, I would say a hill or better. It allows you to, like, you use it to hill your potatoes or perhaps dig rows for many of your gardening vegetable varieties, and so that's an important attachment. These little tractors are not necessarily so good at row crops. So going over the crop after it's growing, they're not so good at, but they are a tremendous help for the planting phase. In our garden, we focus on sweet corn, and the tractor and a planter that we have makes the sweet corn planting easy and reliable too. We don't have to worry about any hand planting or any depth issues, etc. So we highly recommend that. Now, you think about different climates, you have your different properties across your entire listening area, and sometimes you need snow removal equipment, a blower or a blade. Sometimes you might want a cab on your tractor for that same reason, but maybe you don't need that. Maybe you have brush on your property and you need a brush grapple. It's a little bit of an added expense on a tractor, but it transforms it. You can do a lot more if you have a grapple on the front to allow you to grab that brush and haul it off. A rotary mower on the rear end, or maybe a mid-mount mower to mow your yard. There's all kinds of attachments, and where I'd like to kind of finish on the attachment concept is that attachments are what makes the tractor. The tractor doesn't do much by itself. It's only because of the attachments that you can get your jobs done.
Well, with that being said, what is something with your experience and those of you new tractor owners that you've talked to, what are some things that a new tractor owner never thought about and was like, man, why did I not think about that? I really should have done this or not done that when purchasing a compact tractor?
Yeah, good question. And truth be told, we all have that with probably every major purchase that we make. I kind of alluded to a couple of them here. Think your budget through before you ever start. A lot of folks will say, buy the biggest tractor you can afford. Well, I couldn't disagree more. I think you need to consider in your budget the price of the attachments you will need. You will find that attachments are cheaper for smaller tractors, and I find that I can make a small tractor do what I want it to do as long as I have the proper attachment for it. And so I think that's key. Another budget aspect, which is I think something that a lot of us don't consider, is that these little tractors don't depreciate that much. They lose maybe 20% of their value after the first year, and then if you've bought one of the big brands, that price, the resale value will stay flat for 5 to 10 years, maybe even longer. So your overall cost of ownership is going to be lower than it is for, say, a riding lawnmower or a smaller, more disposable tractor. So I think it's key to understand that a little bit of upfront purchase might not end up costing you more in the long run. And this is amplified with the 0% financing that's offered. So by the time you've made a year or so of the payments, you will be above water, and the rest of it, that equity will stay with you. Now, one more item before buying is one that I failed on when I bought my first tractor. I brought it home and then realized, I don't have any place to park my tractor. I don't have any enclosed storage for which to park my tractor. Well, I can tell you firsthand that my wife was not very excited about parking her car outside in the snow. while my tractor took up her space. So, yeah, that's something to consider up front, and that is a significant cost to get some enclosed storage, and you will find that you want it. So consider that before buying as well.
That's a really good and helpful point. Now, how can people? We've really enjoyed having you on the show. How can people find out more about you?
Well, the bulk of our content's on YouTube. We've got almost 900 episodes now, and they can also reach us at our website, tractortimewithtim.com. And we also have a community site that we post often to, and that's called tractoruniverse.com. So we'd love to see you on any of those platforms. We are also available on Instagram and Facebook, although we don't do as much on either of those platforms. Most of our focus is on YouTube.
Well, Tim, we greatly appreciate the time and the tremendous amount of information you've provided, not only for Holly and myself, but all of our listeners across the country. We thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much for your time.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.